Hello, Gary Crowley here with a neck pain relief quick fix. And while this certainly isn't as thorough as the neck pain relief sequence I take you through on the main neck pain relief page, I did want to give you something that if you're in a pinch, you don't have time to go through everything, that hopefully you could get some relief until you have time to go through and do everything that could be actually yanking on your neck and causing your pain. So the big secret, in case you haven't been to the rest of the site, is that the big secret in this body is that healthy tissue is not tender when you press on it. So if you press on muscle tissue and it's tender, that means it's inappropriately tight. And if you release that inappropriately tight tissue, much of the time your pain will go away. The second secret is that just massaging that tender tissue doesn't really tend to get it to release. What you need to do is either what I call the press-pull-release technique, which I go through on the techniques page, but basically you're grabbing a spot and you're pulling on that spot and then releasing, and you're grabbing it and pulling on it. You're not going across the surface of the skin, you're grabbing a spot, pulling on that layer of tissue, almost like it's clay or saran wrap, that you're stretching maybe about a half an inch. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And each time you do that, your brain, your cerebellum actually releases the tissue a little bit. The other way to get the tissue to release is what I call the press, hold, move technique, where you just press on a tender spot and you figure out how to make that muscle move under your fingertips. You make that muscle function under your fingertips, and that also gets your cerebellum in the top of your brainstem to tend to release that tissue a little bit at a time, or sometimes actually very rapidly. So for a neck pain relief quick fix, what we're going to do, I'm basically assuming your neck pain is, somewhere in what we would generally consider your neck. But I want you to take both your hands and just feel back here to where the tissue's tender. And it may be your whole neck, up and down the whole thing, and then, you do, if that's the case, then you do want to go to the main page and eventually, anyway, do all the steps I have you do to release your neck on a more permanent basis, since this is, kind of meant as a quick fix. But basically, when you find a tender spot, let's just assume on this side, let's assume I find a tender spot on my right side, on this side. Well, what you want to basically do is take your opposite hand and take your fingertips from that hand, and you basically want to press your fingertips into that one of those tender spots, and then you want to basically turn your head, what I would say, into that side where you feel the pain. And when you do that, you will feel that tissue under your fingertips move, and you'll actually feel it start to release most of the time. And so you're pressing, holding, and making that tissue move. And what I recommend is you spend a little time on one spot, but then move to another spot. Spend a little time there, move along, and as you release each little spot on your neck, it also helps the other spots release as well. So you're just in here. You can nod as well, and you can even turn your head to, the opposite side, but that doesn't tend to do too much. So basically, nod, feel that tissue move under your fingertips. Turn your head into the tenderness, and you'll feel it. Do that. Now you can also do what I call the hand-on-hand technique here, where you make that tissue move under there while you add even more pressure with your other hand. But again, you only want to press into the tissue at the level that you can really relax into. More is not always better when you're trying to talk to your brainstem to get this tissue to release. See, and there it goes. It takes sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. You can even go, if you have some tender spots on the other side, then I'd recommend that you do that for a little bit, and then you do the same thing, turn into it, turn into it, turn into it, and even if it's on the side of your neck, basically you want to work these are your scalene muscles. You want to work your scalenes a little bit, but again, you're pressing, holding, and making that tissue function under your fingertips. And that is generally what gets you the most relief with this neck. And again, you have to play around a little bit. And if it's way up here in your occiput, whoa, you just want to press in here. Here's where you can do the hand on hand. I mean, I'm basically pressing there, nodding, pressing there, nodding. You can do both, but I like one side at a time. That's okay too. But that will tend to get that neck a quick release. And then when you have time, you want to again go to the main neck pain relief page where I teach you to release these muscles on the front of your chest that basically yank on your top ribs and cause neck problems. All these muscles in here that torque your shoulder blades, and your neck muscles attached to the top of your shoulder blades, a lot of them, they get torqued and then your neck hurts, but it's all these big bullies down here yanking on your poor neck. But that's a quick fix for your neck. We're just working only on the neck, and with an appropriate technique you can oftentimes give yourself some relief after a long day, and ultimately you do want to go do a bunch of the other things I teach you to do, so you can get it at all the little pieces that are probably in play when you have neck issues. So that is a neck pain quick fix for you. I hope it serves you well, and I look forward to hearing how it goes. Thanks.